But, why delay what you all want to hear about? Let's do it at the very top. Hot tag off the top rope. I appreciate it, my friend. I'm holding the string out here, and you gave me the hot tag, and that is very kind of you. So let us get into it. Wow, what a morning. What a day. I will gladly answer this question. So earlier today, I'm just getting ready. I'm having a good day. Good morning. Truth be told, both of my boys are sick. Actually, right before I went live, my son showed me a pretty gnarly allergic reaction on his back. So I'm a little bit sad about that, but they'll be all right. They're young, they're strong, they're defiant. But overall, a pretty good day. Getting ready to do the show. And my old friend Pete Carroll sends me a text, and he says, "Hey man, I'm really sorry about, all the Paddy stuff." And I was like, "What are you talking about? Didn't see it. No idea what you're talking about." And he goes, "Oh man, well, here it is." And so I see this clip that is now making the rounds. At first was confused as to what it was, what platform, all that stuff. But I understand this is from Paddy's podcast. And he has Dana White on as a guest, his boss. And they're talking about me. And I listened to the clip. I watched the clip. And I will tell you, truth be told, been doing this now for a minute, as the kids like to say. 2006, to be exact. Getting a little older, now in my 40s. There was a time when I knew if someone was talking about me, if I knew it was coming, or if I knew that there was something out there, or if I was watching something or listening to something, I would feel something in my chest. Like I would feel almost like my heart go into my gut. Like I would feel like shit. I would feel sad. I would feel depressed. No one wants to have people talk about them negatively, right? No one wants to have people shitting on them. No one wants someone in the public eye to be insulting them. It doesn't feel good. That's not why you get into this. And in my younger days, I used to have pretty thin skin, and luckily over time you develop thicker skin, and you develop a knack for letting things roll off your back. And so that's kind of, something that you have to kind of go through a bunch of stuff to get to that point. And so I watched this clip, and I see, like the text, and then I see, all right, now people are starting to tag me in the video clip on Twitter and all that stuff, Instagram. And I asked myself, sort of like a fighter before a big fight. We had someone recently tell us this, like, wow, I was shocked I wasn't nervous. Shocked I wasn't nervous. I was asking myself, why aren't you feeling anything here? And this is not, I'm not doing a gimmick here. I'm not, I actually legitimately asked myself, I checked in on myself. Why aren't you feeling anything here? Why aren't you fired up? Why aren't you feeling sick? Why aren't you feeling sad? Why aren't you feeling down? Why aren't you feeling depressed? And I came to this conclusion. Number one, as you all probably know by now, as a human being, as a person, forget promoter, forget businessman, forget any of that. As a human being, man to man, the respect that I have for Dana White, or perhaps lack thereof, non-existent. And I've said this before. I don't view him as a human. I just view him as an entity. I view him as the face of the organization that we talk about ad nauseum on this show and other shows. So hearing him say the same old things about me, the same old insults with no substance, with nothing really backing in, no factual backup, it is so tired. I'm so immune to it that I don't feel anything anymore. It's, this is grade 5 stuff. This is, oh, wow, he called me a name. Great. Don't feel anything. Don't feel fired up. Don't even get upset about it, because I've heard it before, and it's just the same old, same old. And for someone his age to be talking about anyone like that is, you could come up with your own conclusions there. But I honestly didn't feel anything from it. However, I then listened to Paddy, who, as you all know, have had a long-standing relationship with, and have never heard him, speak of me publicly like this before in the past. When I heard him say that, I was thinking, all right, well, why don't I feel a certain way about it? I said publicly in the past. Well, first of all, he has said some of these things to a degree in private to me, but never in public on a show. And I was wondering, all right, well, like why is he doing it now of all times? Why is he doing it right now? Well, you can probably come to the conclusion that he saved this material, this ammunition, if you will, because he's sitting in front of his boss and he's trying to curry favor with his boss. He's trying to, dare I say, get in his good graces, right? So I was like, all right, fair play, as I said. And as I've said in the past, or as they say, as I've said in the past, and as I said last year on this show when talking about the Brendan Schaub stuff, I honestly don't mind and I don't get upset and I don't get down when people call me a shit journalist, a bad host, a crappy, podcast guy, whatever, reporter, journalist. I don't mind that. I actually don't. What bothers me, though, is when people lie. That's what bothers me. I don't like when people lie. I don't like liars. And I said this last year about Brendan Schaub. Exact same thing. I don't care if you don't like me as a host. I don't care if you like someone else. I don't care if you are a fan of someone and not me, all that stuff. I don't care about any of that stuff. I don't like it when you lie. I don't like it when you make shit up. I don't like when you regurgitate the same old lies. That's when I get a little annoyed, right? And so here I am coming on this show, clear heart, clear mind, no problem. But I'd like to address some of the blatant lies that were told in that little exchange between one Paddy Pimblett and Dana White. And, I'm not going to go as low as they did by, calling me names and whatnot. Find that to be, as they were calling me a bunch of names, felt like a bit of a deflection there. I'm not going to go there. And I'm not even going to go as far as to show you guys every single text message exchange. But I do think that I'm in the right to show some receipts. I do think that I'm in the right to prove that what they said was a lie, prove that their timeline of events were inaccurate, and prove that the things that they were saying about me were actually 100% not true. And so without further ado, I do believe that we have some of the audio because I think it's important to get this as accurate and as correct as possible, because unlike Dana White and unlike Paddy Pimblett, and unlike any fighter out there from the past, from the present, from the future, and this ain't the first time someone has had an issue with me. This ain't the last time someone has had an issue. I can assure you it's going to happen again. Those who have been following the career know that it's happened, and also know that the vast majority of the people that have had issues with me at the end of the day end up, reconciling for whatever reason. They don't have to deal in the currency that is the truth. They could come out and say whatever they want. They can make up shit all day long and they don't have to answer for it. I have to deal in the truth, because if I'm not accurate, if I'm not right, you won't watch me. You won't watch my shows. You won't listen to me. You won't follow me. You won't read my stuff. For example, as recently as this past Monday, right? Hopefully I've curried enough favor and goodwill with the audience when they know that there are multiple reports out there which are saying the opposite of what I'm saying, TJ Dillashaw retiring. You believe me because I deal in the truth. And the truth means a lot to me. That's the reason why I got into all of this, to, be a truth teller. And so when I hear people lying about me, if they just would have sat there and insulted me, I wouldn't have really cared or said anything. I mean, Lord knows I'm not sitting here and responding to every single insult, but the truth is what I'm all about. So let's get into it, Frank, if you can. You have the audio. This is courtesy of Paddy Pimblett's podcast and a conversation with Dana White, which I believe dropped last night, this morning, somewhere in the last 24 hours. Here's the conversation, and I'm going to respond with the truth to the lies.
I hate all these journalists, especially the ones what earn off us. You know what I mean? Like Ariel Helwani in particular. Like, he loves earning money off fighters. Yeah. Like, every decent job he's had, he's been sacked from.
All right, let's pause it there. Let's pause it there, Frank. He loves earning money off of fighters. You'll hear this from time to time, and I'm not really quite sure what that means. How am I profiting off of fighters? In a moment, you'll hear them talking about clicks and YouTube views and things of that nature. Let me speak directly to the camera right here. In my entire career, dating back to 2006, I have not earned a single penny from YouTube off of any of the MMA stuff that I put out there. And I stress MMA, and I'll tell you why in a moment. Not a single penny. This show, I don't earn a single dime off of any views from this show, any downloads off this show. This is the truth. You can either believe me or you can't. And if you don't, go ask the CEO of Vox Media, Jim Bankoff. Dating back to when I was working for AOL Fan House in 2009, and this show started, and it was called Fight House Radio, and then the MMA Hour 3 weeks later, I have not earned a single extra dime. I've never gotten a bonus. I have never gotten a dime because a show did 100,000 views, 10,000 views, a million views. When we have Izzy in studio and it got like 800, I didn't earn a single penny more, less. It's all, I have a contract. And I make the exact same amount, and I have never even gotten a bonus. I've never had a great year and someone's like, because your views were X high or you did better than we projected. I've never even profited in that way off of anything I've done with Vox, off of anything I've done with ESPN, off of anything I've done with Fox, off of anything I did with MMA Rated, off of anything I did with Versus. Never profited a dime off of a single show. Right now, I'm making the same amount that my contract states. I will not make a penny more, a penny less. It'll be the exact same. It's a 3-year deal. It's up in June of 2024. And that has been the same throughout my entire career. There have been only 2 times in my career that I put something out there and asked people to pay for it. 2 times in my career. The first time, and I'll put all of these together, the first time was when I came out with the merch. Back in the day, it was helwani nose shirts. Recently, it was helwani, and then it was thug nose. I'm going to put those all together. And why am I putting those all together? Because the 3 times that I've ever come out with merch, every single penny that came to me as a result of those transactions, you guys buying the merch, I donated to the Colorectal Cancer Association of Canada, a charity that my father-in-law runs because he is a cancer survivor. I did not earn a single penny off of helwani nose shirts back in the day, the thug nose shirts from last year, the helwani shirts that we did with Breaking Tea. Not a single dime from any of that, all right? That's the first time that I've ever asked you guys for any money. The second time is when I did the Substack stuff last year. Now with Substack, I had a 1-year deal with them to write stuff. They paid me X amount to write on their platform. And part of the deal was, all right, a certain amount of stuff is going to be behind a paywall. And, we're going to make 90% off of that, and you're going to make 10% off of that, right? And then if you want to continue in year 2, you're going to make 90%, we're going to make 10, but we're not paying you anything, all right? All the money from my share of those subscriptions, every single penny went to the Colorectal Cancer Association of Canada. Didn't make a single penny. And now you see in year 2, not charging anyone for anything. In fact, I felt uncomfortable throughout it all. Even though I was giving it all to charity, I don't want to ask any of you for anything. So I'm not profiting off of any of you, and certainly not profiting. The reason I'm bringing this up is not profiting off of any content that I'm putting out regarding fighters or fighting, making anything off of YouTube views, clicks. I do have my own YouTube channel that I resurrected last year. If you go to the content on there, all of it is non-MMA related. There's a few shorts that are up there. You can't monetize shorts. Everything is sports-related interviews. You can see the views aren't great. I'm doing it out of a labor of love. I'm talking to Kenny Mayne, Michelle Beadle, Brooke Burke, et cetera, right? So that's my own little YouTube thing. I can assure you I ain't making anything off of that. Just go look at the views. They ain't great. But as far as the MMA stuff, because he's saying profiting off of fighters, right? As far as the MMA stuff is concerned, don't make a single penny off of the MMA Hour doing X, Y, Z. Don't make a single penny off of any of my stuff in the past. That's a fact. And you can go reach out to any single person that I've ever worked with in the past and ask them, and they would tell you that's the case. Nothing in my contract. So again, another regurgitated old lie